Hey there, how's it going? Okay, so let's look at this set of directions. They're asking me to find the end behavior. And the addendum to the directions say to find the power function of f. And you're like, what does that mean? Okay, before we get there, let me ask you something. If I gave you a very simple equation like this, and I asked you to tell me what the graph of that would look like, what would you tell me? Good, a parabola. Facing which direction? Up, because in front of the x squared is a positive sign, right? But if I wrote it like this, what is this the graph of? Without graphing it, still a parabola, but now facing which direction? Down. Good, because there's a negative in front of it, right? What if I gave you, what is this the shape of? Still a parabola because of the squared, right? On all three of these, the square is telling me this is a parabola. Okay, and what is that 3 telling you? First off, what's the sign in front of the 3? It's positive, so which way does it face? Up, but what does the 3 itself tell you? Good, that it stretches the parabola because every y value is going to get multiplied by 3, so it stretches the parabola by a factor of 3. Got it. What happens if I wrote this equation? What would this be the graph of? Still a parabola. What tells you it's still a parabola? The x squared, facing which direction? Up, good, because there's a positive in front of the 3, and it would be stretched by a factor of 3. So the minus 4x and minus 7, do they really play a huge factor in the overall graph of this equation? They do not. Okay, so now look over here. If I take a look at this function, I'm noticing there's a 3 here, right? And if I distribute everything out, let's take a look. This is just x to what power? Because there's a 1 here, this would just be x to the power of 1, wouldn't it? All right. Here, if you distribute this all out, it would be x to the power of 2. And yes, a bunch of other stuff. But what I'm trying to get at is what this first term might look like in this function. Because if I know the first term, then I'm good to go, and I know what the shape of this will be. And then I would actually have the power function. So this would be a 3x to the third as the lead coefficient if I literally distributed all of these terms, wouldn't they? This is your power function, 3x to the third, which means I know the shape of this function is going to be a third-degree polynomial, and because it's positive in front, it would be shaped like this, and since there's a 3, it would be stretched by a factor of 3. Good? Okay, that's what it means by the power function. What's the first term of this function going to be if you distribute it all out? Because it'll tell me the shape of the graph, if it's facing this direction or if it's flipped over, and if it's stretched or compressed. Got it? Okay, so I have examples coming your way. Work on them before you find my answer key video. Catch you guys on the flip side.